Hi Neil,
Hey, Precious, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Very good. Uh, like I said, I was hacking on a new thing that's been bothering me for a while. I don't know whether it happens to you. I'll latch onto an idea, and if I don't do something with it, it's just gonna keep bothering me.
Yeah.
So uh, I must say, I took a few days off. I don't know whether you guys noticed. I was hacking on an idea, and my goal was to get it done by Sunday because
Oh,
I wanted to submit somewhere. So I had a Yeah, I worked nonstop, man. It was crazy last week, but I had tons of fun.
oh wow, wow, wow. I mean, I've also been on something lately. It's going to be a long one because if I have
Okay.
to do it, I will have to like do it for a long time, maybe 6 months or 1 year. But
How's your AI training going? AI agent course, you told
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. Cool, cool. I mean, I just started going through the preliminary phase. What is AI agent? Trying to
Okay.
get like a
Okay.
deep dive understanding of AI agents. And then yeah, I just made the announcement in the community today. So if you're listening and you want to join us for the training, I created like a private Discord channel so I don't disturb like other people. I just
Do you
share some
do you want
knowledge.
to share the Do you want to drop the link here somewhere? People can find
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And drop the link. I'll drop the link.
Uh, so while
Yeah.
you do that, maybe we jump in. Um, okay. So our first story, we got some exciting stuff happen last week. Um, So again, I mean, there are way too much stuff that we encounter, so we handpick a few things that we find interesting.
Yeah.
So the first one is, which I thought very interesting. So OpenAI launched a GitHub connector for ChatGPT. So essentially, you know how we all use deep research on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Now you can do deep research on a GitHub repo. So let me see if I can share my screen here.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so which makes it sort of super interesting for you see my screen? I know you're trying a new tool today.
Yeah, we're
Uh,
trying a new tool, guys. I don't know. Tell us what you think. Do you like it?
do you see my screen now?
Yeah, it's live now.
Okay, cool. So I mean, we are all familiar with this default Chat GPT interface. So there is a deep research button that you can click. Now, when you do deep research, there is sort of a drop down thing that shows up now that takes to that points to a GitHub project. So mine is configured to this. I don't know how can I change that. I guess I can change like this. Yeah, you see, so it I connected ChatGPT to GitHub now to my with my user ID, and pointed to sort of a repository. So when you point repository like this, now I can question stuff like give me an overview of of this project. So what is kind of doing now is it's trying to clarify GitHub performance and very interested in overall purpose, main components. Yeah, uh, uh, sh- uh, ta- uh, uh, yes, main components. I thought this was pretty cool in terms of um, in terms of like if you are, and we have a lot in our community, right? People interested in open source contribution, and sometimes a doc's little bit lacking in terms of descriptions about what the repo. This is a great way to get an overview of a project. I haven't tested deep enough. I'm pretty sure if I give an issue pointed to a repo, it should be able to point me to the right direction to how to fix it. So it's actually on steroids of what we did with our open source project Copilot. It'll be interesting if we can integrate with our API, but I thought that was very cool.
Oh, wow. Nice, nice. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's going to take some while because deep research usually takes time, but it's actually scanning through the repo here. I did one example here. Let me see if I can find that out. Repo description request. Here is it. So I did run this last night. So look how detailed this is. It gives me the purpose, and this is my project. And I double check all the data is very legit. So I do have this is the demo we used. So
yeah,
you have a researcher agent, booking agent. It figured out all the stuff that's happening there and
yeah.
describing each main components, which I thought was really cool.
Wow. It's cool. Cool. So you give it like the repo link and then it goes on from there.
Yeah, I mean, you do the OAuth thing, sort of. It will ask for permission. But once you connect your GitHub, then yeah, I mean, you just point to a repository it has access to, and it will do its job.
Oh, wow, wow, nice.
So
Right. So
that's very interesting.
yeah.
Um,
So just before you go to the next one,
yeah,
I want to say that we are streaming on X today. So we are live on X,
cool.
Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, that's new for us, right? We haven't done this before, right?
Yeah, we haven't done this before. And then I
Okay,
think
cool.
we have 4 people watching on Twitter and then 1 person watching on YouTube. Right. So
Okay,
this is
cool.
people joining us live this early. Normally we always get like people joining around like towards the end, but having 5 people join us very early. I mean, I think this is cool. Thank you very much for watching. You're welcome. Right. Welcome.
So the next one I have is since I'm now able to share screen, I'll keep doing that because it's fun.
Yeah.
So the next story I have is that Hugging Face released an operator-like agentic tool. Now, this is that, I mean, we all got impressed when OpenAI released that operator, right? Which
Yeah.
was streaming browser to you, was doing shopping for you. I think their demo was pretty impressive. So this is sort of an open source version of that. So they have this tool that they've created that essentially allows you to stream your browser. So stream your browser and ask commands. So to give an example, essentially you could say, hey, find me this restaurant, or find me the headquarters, or find me where Precious is. And it will open the browser in the cloud in a VM. It will search for your location. So it's gonna do all the browser operator, everything. So like an operator. So I'm having a hard time playing with this because I feel like it's sort of overloaded the demo site, because every time I go in, it says that, oh, there are a long list of requests. But there is one nugget of thing that they shared here, which I thought was super, super cool. Is called small agents. And I know we mainly target developers in here. So if I switch a tab, I have to share another tab, I guess. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Like I said, I mean, I'm having a hard time to get this work, but this is the URL. Let me see if I can paste it in here for you guys. How can I share stuff?
Yeah. Go to chats on your sidebar. You see chats.
Yeah, but I can't. It says private chat.
No, no, not private chats. On the right hand side, you're going to
I
see.
guess I guess I don't have permission. Maybe you should share that link.
Oh,
Um, anyway, so that was cool. So one of the thing.
private chat and then I'll share it generally.
Okay, cool. So one of the thing that I mainly want to talk about, I mean, this is cool stuff, cool demo, but but I got more interested into what I saw here. Shared this instead. It's called Small Agent. This is a repository that they created. This is what powers that Hugging Face operator. This is a barebone agentic framework. Another one, guys. But the very interesting aspect of this is this uses that classic React model. So it will go through plan, thought, action sort of pattern. This is the most popular design pattern to build agents, by the way. But the interesting thing about this is when it creates an action, this action is very dynamic. That means it's going to on the fly generate the action for you. So it has this concept of code agent. The code agent is not that one is predefined and writes code. This code agent actually creates an code module on the fly. So that means every time you give, so let me show you an example. I was playing with this. Stop sharing this. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but this will be good. I want to share my entire screen now. Okay, so I was playing with this. So here is one example. Let me show you the code here. So you still can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, how many seconds it will take for a leopard to in full speed to run through the spawn day arch? Okay, this is the question I'm asking to this code agent. So what's going to happen behind the scene is that it's going to take this, it's going to plan it out how to do this. But the actions that it needs to invoke, like doing maybe web search to figure out the length of the spondy arts, and then figure out the leopard speed, all this will be done by generating Python code in runtime. Okay, it just creates Python code to solve the problem, which was fascinating to me. I never seen a stuff like that, which makes it obviously is very powerful because it's very dynamic in nature. Typically, when you create an agent, you always create a predefined set of tools, right, or MCP servers. So think
Mm.
of this as on the fly can create an MCP server for you and use it.
Wow.
So yeah, it did the plan of doing a web search, then it got the details, then it created this Python code that it will execute in a VM to get the answer.
Wow.
Yeah, these things are getting crazy, man. I must say.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. We're seeing all these new things popping up every week. I mean, every week we are here talking about one new thing or the other, and it keeps getting crazy, keeps getting crazy. They keep coming out, right? So, all right. I think maybe I should talk about some stuff before we get to the main story.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we have a main story today. All right. So, where do I start? Let me start with the bug bounty. So, apparently, um, what's it called? AI people are using AI to generate fake bug reports, and then they are trying to use it to win bounty programs. So you know how bounty programs work, um, where people get to see people submit bug reports and they say, oh, you have a bug here, and then when you report good bugs, and then you get to win money, right? So now this is what is happening. People are using AI tools. So these large language models are being used to automatically generate reports that looks like they are true, but then these vulnerabilities does not exist, right? And then these are like fake functions or fake codes. You know, they just generate these things, irrelevant patches, and they just send it out and they say, "Oh, you have this bug, you have this thing."
Mm.
And when you look at it, there's even no code like that on the platform, right? Now, a popular project called Coil, something like that, received very huge fraudulent reports where they were, they couldn't even identify where it was. It was just junk, and this thing just keep coming into them. And these people are trying to win money, sending out these things, right? And then it's not just a mistake. It shows that people are intentionally using AI to do this thing, trying to get financial gain. And it's part of the ethics. I know sometimes on this podcast we've talked about ethics on this thing,
Mm.
right? And we talked about how, how far we've come on guiding AI agents, controlling AI agent, or
Mm.
having like ethical ways to use some of these tools. So it is not just about making occasional errors. Of course, we understand that AI agents can also make errors, but this is not about making occasional error. But then people are actually using this thing to triac systems for financial gain. So now, what happened was that most of these bounty platforms they have started shutting down their bounty programs because of this.
Mm. I saw a news from similar news from the founder of HackerOne. I think they're a big cybersecurity kind of bounty program site.
Yeah,
And the founder on LinkedIn said that they're also getting tons of bug reports like this
yeah.
and kind of spamming them
That's
endlessly.
it's spamming these days, and then it's not nice because a lot of people are, you know, it
A lot
doesn't
of
make.
people, a lot of people heavily rely on this too. I mean, this is HackerOne has done some amazing stuff, right? Finding bugs and rewarding the community members solving them.
Yeah,
It's a bounty program. It's a large scale that what we're trying to do in Tuplian, right? I mean, they
yes,
focus on cybersecurity. We are trying to do more, but fundamentally, it doesn't help the people who really use this. You know what I mean, right?
yeah. It doesn't. It
Yeah,
doesn't help. It doesn't help the community. It doesn't help. It
yeah,
doesn't help
yeah.
anybody, right? It doesn't help anybody, and it doesn't make sense as it is.
Fascinating. Who would have thought that these things will happen? But anyway, I'm sure.
I don't believe we're going to see more of these
Yeah, yeah,
in the coming days, because now someone
yeah,
said asked a question on something about
yeah,
is it intellectual property rights? So you share an idea with someone, they can
yeah,
view the idea using
yeah.
five in 2 days, right? So
So yeah, so remember we covered this story a few weeks back. Like if you lead code, that tool
yeah,
that allows you to cheat, right?
yes,
uh, so it's impossible now. I mean, I think we are getting there. It's almost impossible to know when you're interviewing somebody whether that person cheating or not. It's impossible. We're getting into the point now. I mean, um, now with with meta glasses coming in and virtual presence, I mean, we're gonna get into the point. Even if you do one-on-one physically, like in person, there's
yeah,
still going to be some devices I can use as well. This is like my prescription glasses, but that could be connected to AI and give
yeah,
me answers. Totally. Maybe you're wearing meta glasses already, probably getting answers. Who knows, man? Right?
it could be, yeah,
So it's almost getting to the point where it's becoming impossible. I feel like this is not my idea. I read it somewhere where I don't know. I think we're going to see a next generation of startups which are going to offer sort of clean room. Like they will
yes,
offer clean interview rooms where two-person walks in. You have to drop all your gadgets out. It's almost like a security check to give
wow,
an interview, right? I mean, what's the other way you have, right? See,
yeah,
it's getting impossible to detect.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
it's crazy because I can remember going to school. So I mean, schooling in Africa can be a little bit different. I don't know how it is schooling outside Africa, right?
okay.
So people are really smart here. I remember
Yeah.
when smartwatches came into the picture. People go into smartwatches and they use it for examination malpractice.
Uh,
So they go in. The lecturers are probably old people in their 60s or 70s, and they don't know what these things are. And then they are just
yeah. Right.
access the internet. They use these things, and they. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about it in terms of where we are going to where I could have these glasses
Right.
prescribed to the doctor, and
Right.
then I'm sitting down looking at a computer, but meanwhile I have access to the internet, I have access to
Yeah.
a whole lot of things, and it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
crazy because they have access to AI, and then the AI can actually like solve problems. You can listen to
Yeah.
the environment because you
Yeah.
can see, you can listen,
Yeah.
and you can do all those things.
And even if that AI talks to you, I'm sure someone will correct me. I think Google Glasses had this. I don't know how Meta does it. I think they talk to you back through vibrations. So even if the glass is talking to you, nobody. And if I'm next to you, I will not hear it,
Wow.
but you will hear it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if you're cheating, getting answers, AI is telling you the answers while you're doing interview. I mean, I will have no idea. So
Yeah.
it's just crazy,
So we
crazy.
are into very interesting times. Very, very
Yeah,
interesting times. I can't wait to see what happens in those times.
yeah.
I can't wait.
Um,
So before you,
uh,
is
yeah,
it the
yeah.
main story for you now?
It is what?
Are you trying to get into the main story?
Yeah.
Okay, no, no. Okay, so before you go to the main story, so one
Mhm.
more thing. So Google
Yeah.
Google recently launched what they call um what do they call it again? Trying to see what they called it. They said it's called implicit caching. So
Okay.
implicit caching.
Implicit caching. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to share link. Trying to share our link to the community so more people can join us live. Meanwhile, we have about 15 people live with us today.
So is it about related to obviously it has to be related to AI, right? And I know implicit caching means a lot of things in other software
Yeah,
engineering.
yeah, yeah. So this is implicit caching for Gemini API. So what they're
Oh,
trying
okay, okay.
to do
Hmm.
is to manage cost. You know when people make the same prompt twice or three
Yeah, yeah,
times sometimes. So instead of you burning your credits,
yeah.
burning your credits or your token, trying
You
to
still pay for cache though. They have a separate pricing. I feel like is Google catching up because other models already have it, other providers.
yeah. They said it's for Gemini API to help developers
Okay. Oh, for the
use
API. Mhm.
latest API model. Yeah. So
Mm.
so they said the feature aims to automatically provide you up to 75% cost saving for repetitive data. So when the data is already out, it saves it, caches it for you. So I think what they're trying to do is when someone now makes another request, they can also use the same data that they've given you from the previous call to
Mm.
provide something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. Um,
Yes. So they are promising that they're going to reduce, what developers spend on tokens by 75%. No one has checked that yet. A Reddit post said no one has been able to confirm if that is true. And but yeah, that's what they are saying. So you may want to check it out.
Yeah,
It's
Logan shared this. Logan is pretty legit. I think he is part of the team.
yeah,
Um, I think we should do a deep dive story on this, because I want to also get better at this to reduce the cost. There is a bit of art to this. I feel like how you structure your prompting to hit the cache. It's almost like back in days if you wanted to hit cache to optimize your program, and there is a little bit of engineering technique you have to do.
yeah,
I think it all depends on how you structure the prompts. I think the variable part of your prompt should become at the end or something like that. So essentially helping Gemini to cache, right?
yeah,
Uh, so I think we should definitely do a story. I think this is very, very important as you scale.
yeah. We should, because it's a thing. Managing cost is going to be very huge because we're
Hmm.
seeing a lot of AI agents coming up these days. We're seeing MPC
Yeah,
servers, the servers for Reddit, servers for everything.
yeah.
So we're going to need to be able to manage.
So when we first launched, I made a mistake. I guess it's okay to share this mistake. So
Yeah,
when we launched our dev agent first, right, and I defaulted to O3 model.
yeah.
I don't want to embarrass myself to sharing how much money. It's crazy how much that bill went within a week.
Wow.
It's just crazy. So essentially, you know this, right? We had to stop it, and I had to figure it out that even though O3 is really thinking model is powerful, but it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So we switched to saying that is there a specific set of tasks only designed for O3 where we need thinking. So
Mm,
move lots of our tasks to GPT 4.1, which is comparatively cheaper to reduce the cost.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
costing is going to be a thing. I mean, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing
yeah.
going forward. Right. So yeah, main story.
Yeah, so please share this PDF link with the audience in here. So OpenAI recently did published. I just saw that. I think a couple of days back, saying a white paper, which essentially what they have done is that they have taken their top 7 companies that adopted AI and sort of learn from how they're doing it. So it's sort of essentially white paper to share the experiences that these companies have went through in adopting AI. So they're frontiers. That mean they're pretty much invested in AI. They started early. They embedded AI across all the processes within the organization. So these are the big companies, okay, like Morgan Stanley, Karma, Lowe's. I mean, this are big names here, big US companies. So I'm going to share a couple of the key takeaways in here because we are getting to the point. You as a consultant or as an employee, you're working in a company organization, all kind of figuring out how to adapt AI. I think some of these takeaways is going to be important for us. So that's why I thought it's interesting to share. So the first thing I thought was quite interesting. First thing where they have seen the companies have done well adopting AI is one of the things they had improved is that they introduce benchmarks. Okay, it's not blind bets. So let's use ChatGPT and it will improve. Not like that. They have a very structured process of doing it. So when they, for an example, what Morgan Stanley did is before introducing anything AI related, they created sort of, I mean, in developer term, test suites, right? I mean, how will we know that AI is actually improving our results? Be summarization, translation, even customer support. How will we know that AI is improving? So they created a bunch of test cases, which in this market is called evals. Okay, you probably heard this term evals. So they have designed set of evals that most of these AI systems goes through to make sure that this is accurate. And evals is what takes most of the time, guys. If you're building a production ready AI app, you have to design evals because this AIs make mistake and you have to figure out how to catch those mistakes and prompt it correctly. So those are the process.
Yeah.
The next thing I thought is probably obvious, but it sort of worth mentioning is embedding AI into product, right? It's just not an afterthought. It's just completely baked into the experience. So Indeed saw a bunch of interesting improvements when they started using AI for job matching. But our job pilot probably does it better. uh, so uh, so another thing is sort of interesting is that it takes time to do it, but you have to redesign your process and thinking how not just sprinkle AI in your existing process. You can sort of step back and think how maybe we have to redesign how we do things because AI is here, right? Does some of this make sense to you, Precious?
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Um, Another thing that I encourage when I talk to companies who is interested to use AI agents is fine tuning, right? Most of this models now allow you to fine tune, because when you take off the shelf generic models, they have been trained on uh, various variety of data, right? But you might be building an AI agent specific to a problem that you want to solve. So it helps if you train that model. Fine tuning is sort of becoming a very important skill to have to with your private data, so that model gets aware, okay, this is interesting. So Lowe's is a big retail shop here, so they fine tune their model to do product tagging, and they have noticed like um, the errors the improvements have drastically gone up by 20%.
Wow. Wow. So just to recap that a little bit. So these are steps that you need to take when you're trying to choose what agents to use for your product, when you're trying to build a product, right?
Mhm.
So it
So
starts
yeah,
with
I mean,
starts
I
with
think that's a great way to start. Thanks for doing this. I think if you come to it's not gonna come naturally, right? For
yeah.
lots of people, AI is very new. So telling them, hey, you have to redesign your process is probably not right thing to say. Okay, I don't even know what I'm dealing with. So it's okay to you start to optimize your existing process, but you have to constantly challenge yourself. Maybe there is a better way. Maybe there's a better way. So once you identify where you want to introduce AI, that's great. The second thing you have to do is to set up evals to say,
Wow.
okay, how will I measure that this is actually doing better for me?
Okay.
Okay, just not put it out there and hope for the best, right?
Yeah.
Because you saw the incident with the cursor and what
Yeah.
happened that right. I mean, those are classic example where you have to introduce evals to check, make sure that doesn't happen, because that's just a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
um, then the third step of this is that, okay, now we figured it out, we have an eval, you see that agent is working but is not doing that great. Okay, in case of Lowe's, right, it's probably making tons of mistakes about product tagging. Then you figure out, okay, maybe there is an opportunity to fine tune this. What if I keep train this model with my own data so it understand what I want to do?
Yeah.
So that's another step to do that. Needless to say, obviously, all of these companies are heavily using AI for software developers are heavily using AI, right? And we covered this endlessly. That what is this? 30% of Google's code or Microsoft codes are now written by AI.
Yeah.
So that's clear things happening here. And uh, so so another thing is that, and obviously this is the last thing, is just the mindset change. This is probably the hardest thing to do. That you have to ruthless about automation, right? I mean, I think we're going to be getting into the point where companies going to be questioning like why it takes 3 steps to get there, why there
Yeah.
is 2 manual review process, can we automate this? So it's a good read. It's a PDF file. It's not that great. I'm sure Pressure is going to share the link with you.
Yeah.
uh, Share with it to your company, your boss.
Can you share with me again, because I'm trying to I
Yeah,
haven't seen it yet here, so you can share it
yeah.
with me. Right. Oh, thank you very much. I think we should just have this conversation. So um, over the week, I think it was this week. Yeah, it was announced that OpenAI acquired Windsurf. So
Mm,
Windsurf is like I think you already know about this news. So
Yeah,
it
I
was
know.
on Twitter. So what do you think? A lot of people. So this is the opinion. A lot of people were saying that, oh, um, OpenAI should have built its own ID. Why are they acquiring this one? If they have this and build everything, why are they buying an ID from another guy? Why can't they just build it? If they have this super AI agent, why do they still need to acquire? Why do they still need to buy? Right? Does it make technically? Does should people still trust them? Should people still, go on with this whole AI hype if they cannot build their own technology? Is their own IDE?
It's yeah. So there are a couple of those are. I used to think like that too. Why not build it?
Yeah,
Uh, Lots of companies have that syndrome too. It's not built here. They will build everything from scratch. Speed. I mean, one is speed,
yeah,
right? The way the cursor is getting momentum, they wanted to get into the space. So this is obviously heavily invested space, right? I mean, we didn't even cover the story. I think AWS is working on another coding agent called
yeah.
Keto. It's
Kiro,
internally.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's supposed to come out. I think they're doing a couple of things. I mean, for me, if you ask my 2 cents, obviously on surface it looks easy to build something like this. The reality is a really hard work to build something like this. It takes a lot of engineering. The evals itself will take you months to get there, right?
yeah,
And second thing, the windsurfer is already have set of corporate clients that immediately OpenAI gets access to their clientele. So
yeah.
just speed to market.
Okay. So I think it makes a lot of business sense for them to just buy because
Oh
when you
yeah.
buy, Windsurf also have like their own community, their own ecosystem, people that use them. So when you buy it, you're also buying that same users instead of you building your own, and then you are going to go all out and start acquiring users. Just like with Google, I think it's called Fire. We reviewed it 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. Firebase Pro, or I mean,
Play
yeah,
Store.
something.
Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense for them to like go route, find new ones and start using them, by acquiring new users all over again. So I think it makes a lot of sense. So please, you guys should bear with OpenAI. They can build
Yeah,
what.
no, no. I mean, I think it totally makes sense. They should have done. What interesting is that I don't know whether they went for cursor or not. I don't know whether you heard the story. But they've got it for $3 billion. I know the company behind Cursor is also raising money. I think their current valuation is $9 billion Cursors.
Oh, wow. I think
So
also has
in a
more.
way, I mean, they got a better deal. I
Right.
don't know how they differentiate though. I know there are lots of companies went for windsurf. I know most of the companies I talk to they use Cursor,
Oh yeah, yeah,
but I don't know fundamentally feature wise how they're different. Maybe something. If there is an interest from you guys, let us know. We can cover that too.
yeah, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I think we have about 20 people join us today live.
Oh, cool. Hey,
Yeah.
you gotta fix the chat, man. I need to post links. I cannot do that
Yeah,
anymore.
we'll
Yeah.
find it.
Okay.
Guys, we move to
Uh,
this into we're still experimenting. Everything is still
yeah.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we are going to figure it out very soon. So yeah, if you are here, if you're on YouTube, can you please drop us a comment? When you drop us a comment, we get to see your name, we get to see you call your name, and we give you a shout out, right? So thank you very much for joining us. Anywhere you join, Twitter, YouTube. If you're on Twitter, please drop a comment. We can always reply you. You can ask your questions. If you want us to talk about any particular concept, any particular topic, any particular AI agent, you can always share, drop us a comment or go to our community and drop a comment there on our community. So thank you very much, everyone. We really appreciate you coming. Thank you very
Thanks.
much for
Thanks,
hanging
Precious.
out with
Take
us.
care. Bye.
See you next week. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.